Jared Polinfrono's photo.com, and we are here to edit the raw file number 46, week 46, and it's this cool shot taken with a, I gotta turn off the, I see I have to turn off, what's that thing called again? Twitter, because I left it on. So we're here to edit this file. It's taken with a Canon T1i, which is, I guess, in Europe called a Canon EOS 500D. Don't understand naming sequences, just call it one thing or call it the other and be done with it. I love this shot. I think it captures a really, really good moment. Heidi, what do you think about this shot? Good, bad, indifferent? Beautiful. It's beautiful? Yes. Heidi's got kids. Your kids doing all right? Everybody all right? Beautiful. They're beautiful?
Yes.
Leave you alone? All right, fine, I'll leave you alone. Heidi's concentrating on getting all the orders ready and printed. Anyway, so back to this photo. There are so many different ways that you can take this, and there's already a ton of edits that you guys have done. I know that before I even call Adam, he did 4 edits that I haven't seen yet because that would be cheating. I need to do the edit before he does an edit. So this is really the first time I'm going to sit down and edit it. So I want to keep it as quick as possible, like always, but I'm going to try to go through the edits right now for the first time and see what we end up with and see how many I end up with. So, I love the shot anyway, so let's get to it. So you know me with contrast, and then fill light. And yes, I am just moving around the sliders, but that's what I do until I see what I like, because I am very visual. But I don't need to explain that anymore. Wow. I don't mind pulling that back. Usually I don't like too much green in these things, but it could be representative of that. Like, this is late night, and now I'm actually going to take the green out, which is kind of funny. This gives it that very late day feel, like, because the golden hour, the sun is coming straight from the side, and the kids are happy, and it's not chilly, even though she has on a jacket, and they're running in the water. Boom. I'm going to pump that contrast a little more. Clarity, maybe too much yellow, and I end up pretty much back to where I kind of probably started. Let's see what we can do with the skies. Saturation, luminance. Wow, look what you see how look what I did to the background, and look what it did to the grain. It's like it totally got granulated. So I'm not doing that. I mean, this is pretty similar to where I would want to go. I don't know, I'm feeling the yellow here. And is a crop in order for this? I know I did it last week. How yellow can I go? I know Adam's going to yell at me for going yellow. But hey, it is what it is. Keep the original aspect ratio. We're going to lock it in. Oh, but see that? Here, when you are cropping, everybody, I don't like this crop, but when you are cropping, keep in mind that you still want to crop as if you were composing in the camera. So if there's something that you wouldn't have cut off, there's no reason to cut it off when you're cropping, because you have full control to do that. And I don't crop my own work, but that doesn't mean that you can't crop yours. It's a personal preference thing, and you can go from there. But I just can crop other people's work because I feel like it. So there, we still have the lighthouse in the background. We still have the girl right here. It just draws us into the image a little more. So I'm going to go with this, and this is going to be one edit. I'm just pulling back on the yellow again. And we're just going to make a snapshot by clicking the plus button. I'm just going to call this one, hit enter. Let's go back to the original, revert. Let's go to black and white. Let's pumpify this up and see what we come up with. All the stupid kids with their pumped up kicks are better. Run, better run out. Alright, you don't want to hear me sing. We know that. Yeah. Not my typical normal type of thing to edit. So I'm gonna get hammered and yelled at and all that good stuff. I don't like where this edit's going right now. Because it's kind of normal, so why not just stick with the normal look of it? Ooh, yeah, right there. Some saturation. Nope, no saturation. We're going to leave the vibrance going. Let's go with this. Let's go with this. What are you thinking, Heidi? You watching this?
I am.
What do you think?
I like the saturation.
You don't like the blue?
Do.
You do like the blue.
Do. Yes.
To me, it's a little too blue.
Well, that's what I like about it.
Well, you know, it's personal preference, what you like. You could try your edit. I'll teach you how to do this next. All right, so there's that. Some clarity going in there. Let's see what Mr. Fill Light does today. Just a little bit of fill light. Wow, I sounded Philly the way I just said today. Noise. Noise. So there's 2. Let's go back and forth to see 1 and 2. There's 1 with the crop. There's 2. It's kind of funny. I ended up pretty similar between the 2 of them. But, you know, that's just a quick playing around with it. I'm sure there's a million different ways we can go, and I know that Adam's already gone 4 different ways, so we're going to put them all up on the screen. We even have the photographers edit this week to see what they did, so we can put it all together and go from there. All right, Adam, you are up.
Adam Lerner, and welcome to this week's Raw Edit, number 46. And we have a very, very cool photo. Really nice thing about this is the light, the way it's just kind of grazing across these kids. And the fact that this one kid is running through the air and he's actually in the air. Feet off the ground, running through the water, not a care in the world. This girl, which I would guess brother, sister, you know, from looking at these two. She's looking at the camera, she's smiling, she's having a good time. Maybe this was taken in London or something. I see the British flag, the Union Jack kind of t-shirt going on over here. Very cool. I like the reflection in the water, which is nice, and you know, the lighthouse definitely gives it some really nice context. So again, not a critique. So let's get into an edit. A couple different things I want to do here. I was thinking maybe I could go really, really super warm. I was also thinking maybe trying to give it that kind of vintagey Polaroid look, like maybe this was taken at another point in time. And I was also thinking, you know, this really lends itself to black and white. So there's a, you know, couple different ways to do this. I don't know if that's a cloud. That little thing bugs me, so I'm just going to get rid of that right now. I'm just going to use the spot removal tool and get that out of there. All right, so let's get into this right here. So the exposure's pretty good. I'm just going to knock it up just a little bit and just add a little bit of fill. Okay, just going to do something like that. Blacks, I'm just going to add some blacks, and when I'm doing my exposure in blacks, I hold down the option key so I can see my under and overexposed areas, because I don't want to go too crazy with over or under or overexposing. Let's see, we'll add a little bit of color temperature here to the white balance. Just warm it up just a touch, somewhere around there. And I'm going to add some contrast to it. And we'll do something like that. And, you know, we really see the shadows just really kind of coming into the, the reflection coming into the water over here. We'll add some clarity to that as well. And I think I want to add a little more fill. And I'm going to go somewhere around there. Now, maybe some vibrance, just to bring out some of the blues in the sky and the water. Something like that. And saturation, I'm just going to duck that down. Okay, I'm going to go something like that. Yeah. Let's just kind of play with that somewhere around there. Yeah, okay, cool. You know, I'm just going to do some sharpening here. So let's just grab the kid's hair right here, or his face, and we'll pump that up to about there. And we'll mask this off so that we sharpen the edge detail and not necessarily the textures. And we'll go something like that. So let's go, here's the before and here's the after. So this to me is just a lot crisper. It has a lot more impact. You know, I just feel like, you know, there's just a lot more aesthetically pleasing elements to this particular image for me. So I'm going to just, for the sake of this, I'm just going to save this as my snapshot 1. Now let's just see, let's just try to mute this down a little bit. Now I've got this this muted preset, so I'm just going to click on that and see what that does for me. And you know, I really like what that's done there. You know, I've reduced the vibrance, I've reduced saturation, I've taken the contrast way down. You know, maybe add a little bit of fill to this over here. I know there's some vignetting in this preset here, so I'm probably going to just, you know, lessen that a little bit. You know, I'm just trying to just flatten this thing out a little bit and just make it look a little bit more muted. Just add a little bit of this right here, a little color temperature, bada boom, bada bam, bada bing. And somewhere, let's just see where we're at with this thing right here. You know, I'm going to save that as another snapshot, and I'm going to call that number 2 because we already have one. So this image also might lend itself to some kind of, you know, glowy kind of look to it. And I have these other presets over here. This one is really nice because it kind of gives you like that kind of afternoon sun type of day. This one's called Vintage Split. There's some split toning in this one. You know, we still kind of go back on the saturation, but we make up for that in the split toning. And I really like the way that this kind of looks right here. So I'm gonna maybe just keep that like that, and maybe just bring the fill light down just a touch over there, because I really love the way that half of them are in shadow. Let's just look at the vignetting here. I don't want quite so much, so let's just keep that. We'll keep that right about there. That's going to be snapshot number 3. And I did mention wanting to go black and white, so let us go black and white. So let's just keep everything that we have here in this preset, and I'm just going to hit the V key. That takes us black and white, and it also retained the toning from this. I'm going to just turn the toning off just to see how it looks without the toning. And I'm going to keep that without the toning there, but maybe I'll grab the tone. No, actually, you know what? I'm just going to create a new toning here. I'm going to turn off the highlights. I'm going to turn off the shadows. Let's see. Let's bring in some yellows here. Something like that. That's pretty cool. And how much saturation do we want? Yeah, it really brightens it up quite a bit. But let's just give it kind of more of a sepia look to it over there. As far as shadows go, I'm not really going to worry about the shadows for now. I'm just going to kind of tone up the highlights and just give them some of that nice toning. I'm going to go into strong contrast here just to kind of give it a little bit more of that. Maybe I'll reduce the clarity. Let's see. Give it that kind of like vintage snapshot look. I don't know. It's a little hokey. Forget about that. What else do we got over here? Contrast, if we bring that down, that's actually kind of cool. We bring down the contrast. Maybe bring down the clarity a little bit. And then, let's see, if we give it kind of like a little bit more of this, highlight priority, you know, it kind of has like that old kind of snapshot look about it. You know, it's kind of weird. You know, it's maybe something I wouldn't normally do. Bring the blacks a little bit further. And, you know, let's, it's a little bit dark now, so let's just brighten this up. And let's save that as snapshot 3. 4. Oh, not 4 plus 4. All right, so we've got here snapshot 1, kind of a basic color edit with everything kind of punched up, everything sharp, and you know, we've brought out a lot of the reflection in the water, and just kind of given it a lot more highlights. Snapshot 2. This is a more muted version. It's got a little bit more of a bluish cast. You know, if we compare it to the original and to this, there's something I kind of like about it. You know, it's just a little bit more subtle. You know, it's more monochromatic. And if you look the sky and the water, everything kind of does have, you know, kind of similar tonalities. Snapshot 3. Here's one where we really kind of pumped up the yellows. We kind of gave it much more of that golden hour, golden light feel. Look at the before and after. I really like this. You know, I just think it kind of gives you a nice time of day. And number 4, we went with this kind of weird, kind of sepia, vintage, black and white type of thing. compared to the new. Very different than the original, but just a little bit something, just to kind of break up, the norm and just do something different. So, this week I just ran through a bunch of different presets and, just to kind of give you guys, a look at other options that you can use here. And these presets are so easy to make. I mean, you find a preset that you like and just or you find some settings that you like, you find an edit that you like, and just save the preset, give it a name, and just see how it works in other settings. So those are my edits, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the stuff that you guys have done in the forum, as well as seeing what Jared's got. Hey man, whatever works for you.
It's gonna get on me.
The hair's not gonna get on you, Heidi. I've eaten my hair before from the thing. So we're back. Hey Adam, what's going on?
Hey Jared.
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
It's going. Hey, look, I just made it bigger on the screen so we can see more.
What's going on? There's a lot of images over here.
We have a lot of edits this week. Let me just resituate everything so that we're good to go. Got you in the bottom corner. So we'll go from the top. The top row is actually all Adam. The bottom two on the left, this one and this one, are mine. And this is the original. I'll pop it up on the screen. This is what the photographer came up with. What do you think of the original, Ad?
I like it quite a bit.
I do. It's just it's got one of those classic-y feels while still being new.
Yeah. And I like the way he or she pump things up to get a lot more of that kind of shiny, reflective quality in the water.
Right. And it has a lot of the... I mean, I don't mind the... it has a very cyan feel to it today, but it just... Again, it's good. I mean, there were so many... There's still a lot of edits coming in because we're recording this, what's today? Tuesday. That's how we normally would do them. And so we're still watching as the other edits come in, and we'll be sure to put up a showcase of all the other guys' edits and screen flows. But... Adam, your first one is really nice. It's a nice edit. It's a little thicker.
This one I wanted to go for thick, and I wanted to really have the sky and the water really have that kind of like bluish quality, and just bring out the reflection of the sky and the water and yada yada.
Now, do you get a feeling that this was done during the fall-ish time?
I don't necessarily get a day. Yeah, it could have been fall.
Well, I'm looking because she's wearing a jacket, he's wearing long pants. It's still a great photo, and it really did lend well to a lot of different
I'm
edits.
getting the sense that it's England, somewhere maybe, Brighton or somewhere on the coast, and it's not like super hot there, so I don't think it would be unusual to have a jacket at the beach.
No, you're right. I like this edit a lot, Adam.
Cool. Yeah, that had more of kind of a warmer feel. That one I was going for something like to look like an old kind of sepia photograph that just kind of faded over time.
Heidi says she likes that one.
Cool. I mean, it can't necessarily be timeless because of their clothing.
Right.
But I just wanted to go for that kind of a look just because I was having to play with it.
Sure. Yeah, and what I was going for, I mean, I kind of... It seems actually, you know what, looking at this again, it's not that terrible.
Well, that's a glowing...
No, because at first when I was doing my edit, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't.
Masterpiece from Jared Poland was not that terrible.
Yeah, well, it's my edit, so I can say that it's not that terrible if I want. I thought it was going to be not as good, but now that I'm looking at it, when you put them all side by side, they each stand out on their own, and it's for once it's not as thick as I normally would go personally.
Right. I mean, what I get the sense here is that you really worked on sharpening and clarity. But you kind of you didn't go crazy with white balance and other things. You really kind of let the information kind of speak for itself here.
I mean, I did tweak the white balance slightly, but again, I did it by feel. I did it by what looked right, where I thought I wanted it to be, and that's what I did. And then this, I just felt that why not try one with a crop? This one is too yellow.
The crop really works, and I thought about doing a crop of this one. But then I just kind of got a little bit wacky with all the different edits and let you do the crop.
Yeah, I mean, I did the crop like I said to everybody. It's okay if, to crop. if it's
Ooh.
your stuff and you feel that it needs it. I'm still not going to crop my own personal work. But what the feedback I left was, if you're going to crop, make sure you do it following the rules of, following good composition. Just because, if
why wouldn't you want to crop your own personal work? Just so the readers would know.
Why don't I like
mean,
to
you
crop?
say that as if it's like a mandate, like I will not crop my own work. What is your reasoning for that?
My reasoning for not cropping is I want to fill the frame as much as possible when I am shooting. I want to be able to be in an environment and know that I'm using the right lens. I've anticipated the situation, and I'm going to capture the image that is presenting itself to me, composed the way that I would want it. I want to compose it as if I was, I don't know, taking a picture of it. I mean, I feel that I want to get that aspect correct. I don't want to crop
No,
later.
I understand that as far as like the mentality going into shooting, thinking to yourself, I'm not shooting this with the idea that I'm going to go crop it in post.
Yeah.
But are you opposed to cropping in post when you finally get back and say, you know what, there's a little bit more information here, I will crop it, or is that something that you really don't care for?
I don't do it. I don't don't care for it. Sometimes you look at an image, you go, okay, I could have done this, but a lot of times when I'm shooting, if I see an image and it's, not like this action shot where the kids are running, but
right.
If it's a portrait, I'll do a wider shot and then I'll zoom in and I'll give myself different angles, different ways to look.
Sure.
Different compositions, so that I have a bunch of different, 4 different variations to choose from. So I don't have to do that cropping.
And that brings up a really good point, in that oftentimes when you are shooting something, it is really a good idea to go both horizontal and vertical, to go landscape and portrait, to give yourself options, to give the client options, whoever that may be. So, look, I agree with you. I'm not one who wants to, who shoots to crop. But I also don't feel as definitively rigid about it, so.
And again, it's my personal preference, and I'm not telling anybody that they have to live by it, because again, I just like to be able to say that when somebody sees a photo book, a portfolio of mine, or a gallery of work on the wall, and I go, none of these were cropped. Certain photographers will understand that. The everyday public doesn't care, but.
Well, it just means that what you see is what you get. Like, you saw that. That's the entire frame. Now, the other thing to consider too is that not everybody has a viewfinder that's at 100%.
Right.
Some people's viewfinders are between 90 and 100%, so that their cameras, the viewfinder is actually cropping a bit for them, and they really don't have a choice over the matter.
Well, but the viewfinder's cropping, but the sensor is still there, capturing a little bit extra, just like the D2H used to do.
Exactly. So in the case of those people, there's which is probably the majority of folks shooting out there, there's really nothing you can do. I mean, your image is, what you're seeing is getting cropped in the viewfinder. In the
viewfinder, but when you take the picture, there's actually more data there.
That's funny. When I shot with the D700, I would actually, if I framed something and I liked it, I would just get a little bit closer.
Yeah,
if I knew that there was going to be extra info in there.
I used to do the same thing with the D2H. I knew that if I put somebody's head, the top of their head, at the very top of the frame, there was still going to be enough leeway there that I would get it. See, you learn the gear that you're using, and you use it to your...
That's an excellent example. Unlike myself, who always shoots too close to people's feet. As
you do leave very close to people's feet, but hey, it is what it is, Ad. All right, so lots of... I really, out of all of these, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer one of yours? Do you prefer one of mine? Or do you prefer the original as the photographer saw it?
I would say, if I were to just, knee-jerk reaction, pick like, three favorites here.
Yeah.
I would say the top one of mine, the third in.
This one.
Yep.
And
yours
this one.
On the left, the uncropped one of yours.
Oops.
Oh, bring it back. And the photographers. I would say... oh,
I messed this up.
Oh.
All right, I'm just going to leave them all here. What I would have picked, I like the photographers. This one right here. Yep. I love what they did. It's great. Yep. And I think I like your... I do like mine, but I do like your vintagey feel right here.
Yeah, it's got a nice warmth to it. I would say the photographer's that one and yours are my favorites.
Yeah, so again, there's so many things you can do with this, and it is great to see that people have already posted a ton of photos.
And the other thing too, just a quick side note is, there's nothing wrong with taking an image and doing a number of different edits and
No.
just saving them as snapshots because you're not locked into any one thing. Just have fun with it, have a play with it. Do a bunch of edits and then decide later. Put them up on the screen. I mean, you could tell people how you got the screen to look this way with all these different images there.
Oh, you want me to tell people?
Obviously these are the final selects, but how did you do this to get it to look this way? So somebody who maybe has a bunch of images that they want to view.
Or a projector.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me just rework the screen here. All right, so what I did here is I selected the images that I wanted. Actually, let me go back to there. There, I have one image selected. Now I'm selecting the rest of them. And what do I hit? The N key, right?
Yep.
I hit the N key, and then they all pop up on the screen like this. And then you can hit the Tab key, which gets rid of or shows you all the different bars that pop up on the screen. So I did that, and then I got rid of this on the bottom. And then when I hit the F button, it allows me to go full screen and gets rid of everything else.
Basically, you went into like the survey mode.
Is that what they call it? Survey mode?
I believe so.
So this is good if you have like a projector or you want to show other people your work
or if you basically have you can create virtual copies and make all of your selects and put them in the survey mode, and then you can look at all of those different edits that you've done, and then you can be able to say to yourself, you know what? Out of the 3 or 4 or 2, whatever, how many edits I've done, this is my favorite, or these are my favorites.
Definitely. All good stuff. All good stuff.
Yep.
All right, so...
You know what? I'm going to do a video on survey mode.
All right, have fun.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so another great job this week. At the end of the week, I'll be putting up the video where we showcase a lot of your photos and the screen flows. Now, keep in mind, some people have gotten upset if their photo hasn't been picked. What I do when I'm going through, and I know Adam's going to go through and do some in the future, if I see a photo, say on page 6 or something, and then I get to page 9 and I see something that was very similar to something I already selected, I'm not going to, show both of them because they're too similar. I'd like to show a cross section to the extreme stuff, stuff that's like edited straight on, and then stuff that has really interesting things done to it. So it's not a knock if it didn't get picked. They're still there in the forum for everybody to see. It's just I go through and I select different ones just to showcase a cross section of what everybody has been doing.
Yep.
So that's about it. That's all we got this week. Adam, have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right. We will see you for Raw Edit of the Week 47 coming up very soon. Jared Poland, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya!